morning to each and every one of you. Today is all about our discussion in proteins, which is one of the biomolecules that we need to discuss for this final term. So when we talk about proteins, this includes a diversity of structures resulting into a wide range of function. Since protein is very abundant in our body, proteins plays a crucial role on varieties of things and in our metabolism. No, there are eight functions that we will discuss in our discussion. We will cite all of the eight different importance of protein in our body. Proteins account for more than 50% of dry mass of the most cell. It performs most of the tasks required for life. Since protein can be both a backbone, an enzyme, and any helps us in any metabolic processes, protein is very abundant in our body, just like what I mentioned earlier. Some proteins speed up chemical reaction, other proteins function includes defense, storage, support, cellular communication, movement, and structural support. So these are the overview of the different function of protein. So first and foremost, we have the enzymatic protein. So if we're going to look at this one, the primary function of enzyme is to speed up any chemical reaction. In our body, enzyme and other catalyst is made up of protein. So just like what you can see in here, if we're going to look at this one, the enzyme is made up of protein, the purple one. So if we're going to have our discussion in carbohydrates, what do you think or what type of disaccharide is presented in your screen? So we have here glucose and fructose. So we have sucrose. So with the help of an enzyme sucrase, which is made up of protein, glucose and sucrose is breakdown, no? Nagkakaroon tayo ng speed up of chemical reaction. Hypothetically, if the reaction takes place for 10 seconds with the help of the enzyme, it will be just 5 seconds. So that is the function of enzyme in our body. Now, it speeds up chemical reaction and serves as a catalyst for the reaction to happen. In our example, the disaccharide that we know of, sucrose, which is made up of fructose and glucose, is now break down into two monosaccharide unit, glucose and fructose. So the glucose can now enter the body or the cell. And again, the sugar or glucose can now be synthesized and creating an ATP. So that is one of the function of protein. Since enzyme is made up of protein, protein serves as an enzymatic component. Next one, we have protein for defense or defensive protein. So one of the primary function of protein is for the defense of our body. With the help of our immune system, we produce our antibodies. No, our cell produce an antibodies, and these are just like cell marker that we use for our body to distinguish if the pathogen that enters our body is destructive. So for example, there are virus or bacterium in our example that enters our body. If we have that antibodies that can go to the cell markers or cell surface of the virus and bacteria, and we have the immunity, our body can easily respond to it. But again, if our body do not have an antibodies, no, our body will be having a hard time in destroying those virus and bacterium that penetrates our body. No? And again, in general, virus and bacterium wreak havoc in our system, no? Specifically the virus, no? They hijack our system and they can cause havoc within the system, and we don't want that to happen. So as a defense, our body makes a mechanism wherein protein is utilized in the form of defensive protein. So we have antibodies that made up of protein. Next one, we have the storage protein. So if you're familiar with egg, the egg one, no, it has a yolk and a white part, no. So the white part are known as oval albumin or albumin, which are made up of amino acid. So this serves as a storage protein for a youngling, no, that is constantly growing and developing within the egg. So kahit hindi pa kainin ng mother na hen yung kanyang anak, no, as long as it is encapsulated within the calcium carbonate or carbide within the shell, mabubuhay pa rin si youngling, no. Si yolk, magde-develop yung mga nerve, magde-develop yung mga vessel or blood vessel, and the food storage or the food that serves as the storage that is used by the yolk is the protein that is located within the albumin. No? For example, casein, the protein of milk, is the major source of amino acid for baby in mammal. So kapag sumususo ang isang bata, no, ginagamit niya ang protein para siya ay lumaki. No? Protein can be located within the casein of the mother's milk. For plant have storage protein in their seeds, no? Para maprotektahan yung kaniyang self, no? Meron siyang cotyledon, no? Merong covering ang isang seed so that when the right time comes, when the seed is planted on the most optimal temperature, condition, no? Wherein its need is met, edi magbo-bloom na siya doon. No? Ganun din sa egg of albumin is the protein in the egg white structure that is used by the embryo for its development. So it contains amino acid, a protein for structural development. Next one, we have the transport protein. In our discussion in cell transport mechanism rather, we have integrated protein that is located within the cell membrane. So since we have phospholipid that acts as our gate and barrier for those that wants to enter and exit the cell, no, for what particular molecule, there are also transport mechanism protein that is used to be integrated within the cell membrane. So para makapasok thoroughly yung mga protein, specifically yung mga malaking mga molecule, sometimes it undergoes the tunnel of transport protein. Kung di naman at sobrang laki talaga, nagba-bulk transport wherein nagkakaroon tayo ng ng vesicles, no, with the help of the phospholipid. So these are the four. Another four function of protein are hormonal protein. So one of the function of hormones in our body is for coordination of different organismal activity. Now, when we talk about growth, development, regulation, we need protein in our body, or we need hormone rather in our body, and hormones are made up of protein. For example, we have insulin, a hormone secreted by the pancreas, cause other tissue to take up glucose, thus regulate the blood glucose level. So, for example, we have sugar rush. For example, we eat lots of candy, no, or chocolate that Sir Mark received from you in the recently Teachers Day. So what will happen? So sugar will enter the bloodstream of Sir Mark, and hindi naman pwedeng nasa bloodstream lang ni Sir Mark yung sugar, yung may sugar. It needs to enter the cell so that the cell can process it with the help of mitochondria to become an ATP. So our body, with the help of our pancreas, produce or secrete insulin within the bloodstream. And then what happens? The insulin instructs the sugar to enters the cell. Hence, it can now produce an ATP. So ganun po siya, hindi pwedeng nasa bloodstream lang yung sugar. Magkakaroon tayo ng hyperglycemia o high sugar index within our body. So kailangan nagagamit siya ng katawan natin. Next one, ito yung pinakamalaga din, contractile and motor protein. So protein, just like what we have mentioned, gasgas na, constitute our muscle, no? Our muscle is made up of protein. When we wear and tear our muscle, it develops with the help of the amino acid that we have in our body, no? And again, these are made up of protein. So if we're going to look at this one, our muscle fiber are made up of two parts. We have the actin and myosin. So the muscle contraction happens when these actin and myosin pulls together, no? Actin and myosin are made up of protein that are responsible for muscle contraction. So again, muscle, with the help of protein, or muscle is made up of protein, and protein is essential for movement and contraction. Next one, receptor protein. So when we have a cell-to-cell interaction, for example, we have a neuromuscular junction. Paano nangyari po yun, Sir Mark? It is just a fusion of nerve cell and muscle cell, and that explains how we can move our body, no? So ano nangyari dyan? In our example, we have a neuron or axon terminal, and that is attached, no? Or near the receptor cell. So what happens? May mga protein that serves as receptor that accept the signal molecule. So for example, the signal molecule ay galing sa ating nerve cell. The nerve cell will release a calcium neurotransmitter, and this calcium will go to receptor protein. So mahalagang mahalaga yun, no? Kasi kapag nalaman sa labas ng cell ng receptor protein na merong influx of calcium, there can be a cascade of event that will happen. So that is one of the reason why our muscle move, no? Because meron tayong calcium or neurotransmitter deposited outside of the cell that is received by the protein. So we have receptor protein, serves as a chemical stimulus or stimuli. For the last one, we have structural protein. Again, from time and time again, I will not be, I will always tell you that when we talk about structure, protein is also essential, no? From cellular level perspective, from tissue up until organismal level, protein serves as structural support for different organisms. In our example, we have keratin, which is made up of protein, no? Yung mga sungay din ng mga animals, feathers, skin appendages. We have all of that made up of keratin with the help of the keratinocyte. Okay? And all of these things can be constituted with the protein because all of these things are made up of protein. Collagen and elastin are made up again of protein that provides fibrous framework in an animal and connective tissue. So that is the 8th function of protein. Sorry for that. So recall lang natin, enzymatic protein, storage protein, defensive protein, transport protein, hormonal proteins, receptor proteins, contractile and motor protein, and structural protein. Okay. Next one, let us now proceed on the basic component of proteins, which are the amino acids. So protein are all constructed from the same set of 22 amino. So just like any other letter in the alphabet, for us to create a long sentences, a word, we have to fuse together different letters for us to create a word and phrases. Similar happens with the creation of protein. Different 22 amino acid needs to be created or manufactured for it to have a structural or functional function in our body. Each amino acid is consisting of central carbon atom bonded to 4 covalent partners. So polypeptides are unbranched polymer built from this amino acid. So peptide is the bond that is located within one amino acid. So if we're going to zoom in this one, no, meron tayong example in the bottom. We have the phenylalanine, leucine, serine, and cysteine. We have PHE, LEU, SER, and CYS. So the bond that fuse together phenylalanine from leucine is what we call a peptide bond. Hence, when we see a protein, we can see that there are polypeptide bonds because these are made up of many peptide bonds constitute a protein. A protein is biologically functional molecule that consists of one or more polypeptides. So kailangan para ma-consider ka na protein, you have to at least have one or more polypeptides. So kailangan madami kang polypeptide and more. Okay? So let us now talk about the monomer of the amino acid. Just like any other biomolecule, protein has its own monomer, which is known as amino acid. So amino acid are organic molecule which is composed of 4 parts. No, balikan lang natin, this is organic molecule because it contains carbon. Okay? Amino acid or AA is known as organic molecule and it has 4 parts and component. No? Unahin na natin, tingin tayo sa picture. The central one is what we call the alpha carbon. Bakit siya tinawag na alpha carbon? Alpha carbon because it is the part, or the first part wherein the functional group is associated. When we talk about the functional group class, no, titingin tayo sa color natin. The orange one are known as the side chain. So Mark, bakit side chain? Side chain because diyan kasi nagkakaroon ng difference yung iba't ibang amino acid. All of them are similar in carboxylic acid group, in amine group, in carbon group, pero they all differ sometimes sa side chain. Okay? They all differ in their side chain. So tingin tayo dito ulit. So again, this is the component of the amino acid. Una natin si alpha carbon, which is the blue one. The carboxylic acid, COOH or CO2H. Makikita natin yung color green, di ba? Which is located in the right side. Don't get confused ha. Baka mamaya sabihin nyo, Sir Mark, bakit ganun? Nasa right side namin nakita yung carboxylic acid. In different books, references, pwede pong mag-iba-iba yung kanilang posisyon. Okay? Pwedeng nasa right side yung amine group, pwedeng nasa right side, nasa left side yung carboxylic acid. Basta tandaan, pag carboxylic acid, COOH yun. Okay? And next one, we also have an amine group. Pag sinabi namang amine group, amino group, meron yan automatic. Nitrogen and hydrogen, no? Amine, nitrogen. So N2, NH2 ang kanyang form. So makikita natin yung color pink, that is the amine part. And lastly, we have the side chain, just like what I've mentioned. Dito nagbabago yung different 22 amino acids, no? The basic chain that we can have in here is the H or hydrogen lang, ganyan siya kasimple. And we have an amino acid called glycine. For the next one, we have tyrosine. If we're going to compare tyrosine and glycine, ano pinagkaiba nila? All of them are similar when it comes to amino group, carboxylic acid, carbon group, tapos may H sa taas, but the difference can be located at the last part or the bottom part, yung color orange. Si glycine ay simple H lang. While tyrosine ay merong phenol, no? Merong phenol, may hydroxyl sa baba, tapos merong benzene. Benzene, tapos hydroxyl or OH. So, ganyan yung kanilang difference. On the other hand, si cytosine naman, meron siyang sulfur. CH2, CH2, sulfur, tapos CH3. So, ayun yung difference sila. Again, there are 22 amino acid. I will not be saying na kailangan nyo kabisaduhin ng ito. No? I just want you to familiarize yourself with the different abbreviation that is involved and what does the three-letter word stands for. So, unahin na natin yung mga non-polar side chain. No? These are hydrophobic side chain, kung makikita natin. Meron tayo ditong, ngilitin natin in our example, if we're going to zoom, dito yung amine group, nasa left side. Nasa right side yung carboxylic acid, nasa center, syempre yung central carbon, and then nasa taas yung part ng side chain or R group. Nakikita niyo sabi ko, class, nagkaroon ng pagbabago. Nasa taas naman ngayon yung structure. Basta alam natin yung iba't ibang part. Ano ulit yung part ng amino acid? We have the central carbon. We have the amine on the left side. We have the carboxylic acid at the right side. And we have the R group sa taas. Hindi tayo malilito. So, for glycine, ang kanyang abbreviation ay GLY or letter G, capital G. Next one, we have alanine. Meron tayo yung methyl sa taas. Alanine or ALA or letter A lang. Next one, we have valine, VAL or letter V. Next one, we have leucine, LEU or letter L. We have isoleucine, ILE or letter I lang. Another part of the hydrophobic one na may side chain, we have the methionine. Nakita natin dito may sulfur din, no? Met or letter M. Phenylalanine, PHE or letter F. Tandaan na natin pag phenylalanine, yung F naman usually na po-pronounce natin. Phenylalanine. Next one, we have tryptophan, TRP or W. Parang wala tayo masyadong maisip. But if we're going to look at the structure of tryptophan, parang pa-letter W yung sa kanyang R group. If we're going to look at the nitrogen in here or yung amine group, kung titingnan natin yung pentagon at saka hexagon, parang may W tayong ma-form dyan. Tama ba? So, we can associate it to that one. Basta ako kasi ganun ginagawa ko. Tryptophan, W. Kasi ang kanyang itsura sa side chain or R group ay may pa W. Next one, we have proline, PRO or letter P. Next one, we have the polar side o yung mga hydrophilic. No? We have serine, SER or letter S. Next one, we have threonine, THR or letter T. We also have cysteine, CYS or letter C. Tyrosine, we have TYR or letter Y. So parang wala akong naisip na logic. No? Anyway, we have asparagine, ASN, asparagine. ASN po yan, asparagine. Asparagine, letter N. We have glutamine, GLN or letter Q. For the next one, we have the acidic or negatively charged. We have the aspartic acid, ASP or letter D. Another negatively charged or acidic, no, we have glutamic acid, GLU or letter E. For the basic positively charged, we have lysine, LYS or letter K, arginine, ARG or letter R, and histidine, HIS or letter H. So again, just like what I have mentioned, I am not asking you to memorize all of these things. I just want you to be familiarized with the different ganito amino acid. Basta ang mahalaga ay alam mo yung component ng amino acid. So there are only 4 components of the amino acid. Balikan lang natin. We have the central carbon, which is located in the middle or in the color mint green one. We also have the carboxylic acid, COOH, which is located in the right side in our diagram or color green one. We also have the amine group, NH2. And NH2, which is in color pink. And last one, we have the side chain or the R group, which is located in the bottom one or the color orange. Okay? So that are the different 20 amino acid and their component. So now let us talk about the polymer of the amino acid. Again, for polymer to be formed, we have the process called dehydration synthesis. No? Yung hydroxyl or yung OH at saka hydrogen ulit ay nawala. Hence, we have dehydration synthesis. So, for example, we have one amino acid and another amino acid and another amino acid. No? Nagko-connect yung carboxylic acid at saka amine group nila together. Ulitin natin ha. In what part does a peptide bond are formed? Ulitin natin. Kung titignan natin yung example natin, the carboxylic part, C double bond OOH, at saka yung amine part, NH2. Yung hydroxyl, yung OH ng carboxylic acid at saka H ng amine ay nakukuha at nagkakaroon ng dehydration synthesis. No, ulitin natin na pag tinanong sa exam, it is the amino group and the carboxylic acid group that are dehydrated or is the site wherein dehydration happens. Peptide bond is the bond that is formed within the adjacent amino acid. So kung makikita natin dito, again, the carboxylic acid and the amino group of the first and second amino acid respectively are the one that form peptide bond. Polypeptide resulting the chain of the amino acid or napakadaming chain na ng bond. Protein, a polymer consisting of one or more polypeptide. So paano ba na-form si polypeptide? Si polypeptide ay napaform kapag mayroon na tayong chain ng polypeptide tapos nagkaroon pa ng hydrogen bond or interaction with another peptide chain. Okay? So we have here the amino acid, no? If we're going to look at our example in here, we have the side chain or the R group. Makikita natin yung color green at saka color yellow, no? The backbone is located, syempre, nasa pinakababa. We have the amino end, no? Or N-terminus. Bakit N-terminus? N kasi amino. Terminus kasi makikita sa dulo. Okay? So we have the amino terminus. And in the last part, or in the right side rather, we have the carboxylic end. Bakit carboxylic end? Kasi ito po ay carboxylic acid. And we also refer to it as C-terminus because carboxylic stands for C and terminus kasi nasa dulo siya. Okay? So we also have different structure of protein. We have the primary, secondary, and tertiary structure. For the first one, we have the primary structure. A protein, structure of a protein in a sequence of the amino acid. So pag nagsama-sama yung amino acid, no? Protein na po ang tawag. Pag nagsama-sama yung mga amino acid, that is a primary structure. Okay? It's determined by inherited genetic information. So just like what I have taught you from the first day of biology, the protein structure that the ribosome created is predetermined by our genetics. Meaning, our hair color, our eye color, our skin pigmentation that are made up of amino acid or protein is instructed by our DNA. Hence, the primary structure is predetermined or determined by our inherited genetic information. So, yung manifestation nun within our physique, again, is located or embedded through our DNA. Okay? Secondary. So, there are moments wherein this primary structure will come to be close with each other, and it will now form a secondary structure. So the coil and folds of secondary result from hydrogen bond between repeating constituent of polypeptide backbone. So if we have a polypeptide already, no, ano nangyari? Nagkakaroon tayo ng hydrogen bond between this part and another part of the polypeptide. So, syempre, class, kapag may charge ang mga bagay, nagre-react yan or nag-interact yan. Pag positive, mag-interact kay negative, and vice versa. So, that is the very reason why we have secondary structure. We have primary and secondary structure. One thing that you have to realize is that alpha helix are folded. So, paano yung folded? Sorry. Paano ang alpha structure? Nakikita natin dito yung parang pa-DNA, no? This is the alpha or helix structure, no? Basta pag helical, alpha, no? And pag beta naman ay pleated. Para siyang tinopeng papel, no? And then ang itsura niyan ay pleated, no? So again, pag alpha, helix, pag beta ay pleated. So in our example, we have here a transiretine, which is an example of protein. So if we're going to unpack all of the structure of the transiretine, which is a protein, gawa po siya sa secondary and tertiary structure. No? Kung i-zoom natin ito, meron siyang, ano kaya itong helix na ito? Meron siyang alpha secondary structure at meron din siyang beta structure, yung color red. Nasusundan? So, para makagawa ka ng isang protein, kailangan mo pagsama-samahin yung mga secondary structure. Hence, it gives rise to tertiary structure. So, paano nabubuo si tertiary structure? Tertiary structure result from interaction between R groups rather than interaction between backbone constituent. So if we're going to look at this one, tertiary structure is the overall three-dimensional shape of polypeptide. So there are lots of interaction that happens on the different parts of the amino acid. Unahin na natin sa hydrogen bond, no? There are hydrogen bond that is present in this part of the structure, no? Meron diyang hydrogen bond that is present. Kaya kung makikita natin, yung R group also of one amino acid, yung color green sa taas, is attracted to another R group na makikita sa baba na another green. Okay, so that is hydrogen bond present within that segment. On the other hand, we also have van der Waals interaction or London dispersion. So ano naman nangyari dito? Sa London dispersion, I think this will be discussed in chemistry, there are instantaneous charges. So kagaya ng sinabi natin, in magnet, opposite attracts like repel. Tama ba? So ang nangyari, yung electron naman class hindi siya fixed na makikita sa isang location. Tama ba? So it moves instantaneously. Hence, nagkakaroon ng positively charged side at saka nagkakaroon ng negatively part side. Kaya nagkakaroon ng van der Waals interaction. So yun yung pinaka mahinang uri ng interaction, no? Or ng bond, no? Aside sa hydrogen. Next one, we also have disulfide bridge. So very basic naman ito, no? Yung mga may sulfur na amino acid, they form a bridge called disulfide bond because gawa ito sa dalawang sulfur. Next one, we have an ionic bond in here. No, we have oxygen and hydrogen bonding together. The positive and negative one can be located in our diagram. And the R group or the side chain form an ionic bond. And all of these are the tertiary part of the protein structure. Balikan natin. Pag primary, sequence of amino acid lang. Pag secondary, there are two types. We have the alpha or the helix one. We have the beta or the pleated sheet one. For the tertiary structure, these are the interaction between the R groups, no, of the different part of the R groups of the amino acid. So there are lots of bond that can be associated in this one. We have the hydrogen bond, the disulfide bond, the van der Waals or the London dispersion, which is the weakest one when it talks to bond, and the ionic bond. For the last one, you have the quaternary structure. It is a structure formed when two or more polypeptides join and sometimes with an inorganic component to form protein. So hemoglobin is an example of globular protein. Pag sinabing globular, sure ng globe o pabilog, no? Consisting of 4 polypeptide, dalawang alpha, dalawang beta subunits. So kung titingin tayo dito, asan dyan yung alpha? Yung alpha is yung color, tawag dito, color blue. Beta is yung color mint. Okay? So we have that one. So anong meron? Ano ba ginagawa ng heme sa ating katawan or ng hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is a part or structure that can be located within our red blood cell. Okay? And what is the primary function of the red blood cell? The red blood cell are the one that is responsible in distributing different oxygen and materials or nutrients within our body. So without the help of the protein, hemoglobin, our body will not function well. So in our hemoglobin, merong heme, and then there are iron that is attached to the heme. So anong catch? Iron will carry or will form bond with oxygen, and then ano mangyari? So magkakabit si iron at saka si oxygen, and oxygen will be carried to the different parts of our body. So ganun po siya nangyari. No? Carry or kakabit ni iron si oxygen. Kaya along the way, when red blood cell take the different routes in our blood vessel, oxygen is associated with iron. Okay? So there are protein folding in a cell. No? A functional protein consists of one or more peptides or polypeptide precisely twisted, folded, coiled in a unique shape. So there are moments wherein may mga unfolded protein tas nagiging folded. No? This can be associated to the different environmental factor in our body. Okay? Pwedeng nade-denature siya. O baliktad naman, pwedeng folded tas naging unfolded. Pwedeng may enzyme that there are enzyme that the body use for this to happen. Protein folding in cell, it is hard to predict a protein structure from its primary structure. Most proteins probably go through several stages of their way to stable structure. Diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and mad cow disease are associated with misfolded protein. So imagine natin class kung may isang maling amino acid na meron ka doon sa protein mo, there are tendency that there will be a domino effect in the folding. Kasi imagine natin, di ba? Iba't ibang amino acid, iba't ibang folding meron yan. Iba't ibang amino acid, iba't ibang R group meron yan. And kung maling amino acid yung nalagay mo doon sa protein mo, there are tendency wherein it can form an hydrogen bond, disulfide bond, ionic bond, van der Waals bond, or London dispersion. That is not necessarily important on the protein structure folding. So ano mangyari? Imbis na unfolded siya, pwedeng maging folded, and this can cause a cascade of chemical or interaction between the amino acid, and hence there are misfolding that happens. And based on study, some of the disease that we know of like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, mad cow disease are associated to misfolded proteins. So imagine nyo maling amino acid lang, nagkaroon ka na ng pagbabago sa structure at nagkaroon ka na ng sasakit sa iyong katawan. Another protein structure change can be associated with sickle cell disease. A change in primary structure. A slight change in primary structure can affect protein structure and ability to function. So imagine natin, nagkamali lang yung isang amino acid, magbabago na yung buong function ng isang cell. Ng protein rather. Abnormal hemoglobin molecule cause the red blood cell to aggregate into chain and to deform into sickle shape. If you are familiar with the sickle, yung ginagamit ng mga magsasaka, no? Pangbungkal ng lupa, that is sickle. No? And that is the shape of the sickle cell. So if you're going to look at the normal shape, it is biconcave. So ibig sabihin, circular biconcave, that is a normal shape of the red blood cell. Dito, ang nangyari class, nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa heme protein. Instead na yung normal na glutamic acid, tingin tayo dito, nagkaroon ng pagbabago, naging valine yung protein na dumikit. And what will be the tendency of that? Pag nagkaroon ng amino acid substitution, nagkakaroon din ng pagbabago sa protein. So instead na bilog siya na ganyan na normal, nagiging sickle shape siya, no? Nagiging parang yung pambukal ng lupa. And what will be the tendency? If we do not have a normal red blood cell, our body will be having a hard time in distributing oxygen. Why? Our red blood cell, particularly in the diagram, specifically function is to distribute oxygen and nutrients. And makikita natin, bilog siya kasi nga for surface area, no, para maka-latch on yung mga dapat na mag-latch on sa kanya like nutrients and oxygen. In a sickle cell, do you think it has a similar surface area compared to normal red blood cell? No. abnormal yung hemoglobin doon, abnormal yung kanyang structure. So technically pwedeng magkaroon ng blockage within the blood vessel. Pwedeng maging pagbara pa yan or bumara pa siya doon at pwedeng di niya magawa yung function niya which is to distribute oxygen to the different parts of the body. And again, kung babalikan natin yung primary structure ng protein, isang protein lang binago natin. Tingnan natin yung sequence. We have threonine, proline, lysine, that is the normal one. Tapos nasa baba, glutamic acid. But in sickle cell, meron tayong threonine, proline, lysine, at nasa baba ay valine. Imagine natin na isa lang yung nabago pero nagkaroon ng drastic effect sa buong structure at sa buong function also. We're going to look at this one, no? The normal sequence of the primary structure is valine, histidine, leucine, threonine, proline, glycine, glycine. That is the normal one. But in our sickle cell, nagkaroon ng pagbago sa pang-anim na amino acid. Valine, histidine, leucine, threonine, proline, valine instead of glycine. Ano nangyari? So nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa secondary structure. The normal beta unit, subunit, ay naging ganito ang kanyang itsura. And then what happens in the quaternary structure? Kung nagbago yung secondary and tertiary mo, malamang may pagbabago din sa quaternary yan. Because quaternary structure are formed by fusing together secondary and tertiary structure. And as a result, the function also varies and differ. The normal red blood cell, as you can see in this one, protein do not associate with each other, meaning they do not agglutinate, hindi sila nag-fuse together. And each red blood cell carries oxygen. On the other hand, in our structure in the sickle cell, nagkaroon lang ng isang protein deviance, the protein aggregate into a fiber. So, ibig sabihin, imbes na nagkikarry siya ng oxygen, nagdikit-dikit, nag-aggregate, nagkaroon pa ng fiber dito, and the capacity to carry oxygen is reduced since they are aggregate or nagdikit-dikit sila, and also oxygen is not carried properly. So, ganyan po ka-dangerous yung pagkakaroon ng pagbabago sa amino acid, okay? Or sa structure primarily hanggang tertiary. Next one, so what determines protein structure? There are varieties of way. I think I have mentioned this earlier. So meron tayong tinatawag na denaturation. In addition to primary structure, physical, chemical condition that can affect the structure, for example, no, tayo ay nagpakulo ng tubig and then niluto natin yung itlog. Primarily, the egg white or the albumin is in liquid form. But when you introduce it to the high temperature, the folding differentiate. So naging matigas, naging solid na yung albumin. So similar thing happened in protein structure, no? The loss of proteins native structure is called denaturation. So pwedeng yung primary mo ay yung secondary mo naging primary or vice versa. Tapos nawala yung mga folding, no? Those alteration in pH, salt concentration, temperature are the factors that can cause the denaturation of the protein. So, mahalagang malaman, since our body is made up of protein, we need to be in an optimal temperature, pH, and salt concentration within our body. Kasi what will happen when we have sickness, for example, mataas ang temperature natin sa katawan, our protein structure within our body also differentiate. Nagkakaroon ng denaturation and some enzyme may not do its normal functioning. Kasi nga, di ba, pagka nagkaroon ng denaturation, maaaring mabago yung folding. So, maaaring mabago din yung function ng enzyme. And enzyme are made up of protein. So, those are the possibilities that can happen within our body. So, that marks our discussion in protein, and I hope you understood something for our discussion. Thank you.